Alrighty YouTube, another one of Kip's clips. So just woke up this morning and while we literally had about 15-20 minutes catching a wee teeny bit of news and stuff, and the rhetoric is unbelievable. Now you go over to KGB TV, RT, and they're saying armed self-defence squads partially withdraw from Simferopol airport. Now, I'm not up to speed, so it doesn't make much sense to me. But what I wanted to do is see if I can find the BBC language that's getting used. They're saying the airport is Russians occupy. That is the rhetoric coming from the BBC. Now, we all know that the BBC does create a reality, and when they say it, it is so. I mean, it wasn't real. The paedophile stuff wasn't real until the BBC said it. And Russians were not occupying that place until the BBC said it. Although people could see this stuff happening with their eyes, and normally, if you weren't mind controlled, you would say what you see. But most people go, oh, well, the BBC says it, it's now so. The Harriet Harman thing, you just wear a tinfoil hat. Listen to this guy saying there's paedophile supporters in the parliament. Cyril Smith not getting investigated, so on and so forth. He's just a tinfoil hat wearer. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, but the BBC says it. Oh, he was right. Because the BBC tells me what's real and what's not. Anyway, so even the BBC, this is the wording of this is unbelievable. Russians occupy Crimea airports. Now, firstly, let's see the contrast. Let's see what RT. Let's see what RT's latest is. And then, so they've got the breaking news. Watch RT live. Yanukovych to hold press conference. Oh, that'll be worth a watch. Is that going to pop up RT live? Right, well, I'll leave a link for this down below as well. In the meantime, let's actually see what it's saying here. A few dozen armed men identified by airport officials as self-defence squads are leaving the Simferopol airport in Crimea following their overnight raid on the airport terminal and their patrol of the grounds outside that followed. Is that them there? Civil Defence Force. That's 2 to 3 dozen militiamen in Simferopol airport quickly piled into a truck with no plates and are leaving. In the middle of the night, at least 3 CAM AZ trucks without licence plates drove to the airport with about 50 men inside, the witness said. One of the witnesses told Life News website that the armed men are members of the ethnic Russian self-defence squads. We were here and saw them arrive. Nice guys, polite, not insolent. They have been patrolling the place to safeguard it from the possible arrival of radical Ukrainians. Airport spokesman Igor, that dude, I'm not going to try and kill it, denied reports of a takeover. He said that about 50 armed men arrived at the airport to search for Ukrainian airborne troops. However, after finding out that there were no military personnel present on the tarmac, they apologised and left the territory. Igor Stratali told Echo of Moscow Radio. Jesus, look at that. That's military, man. That's obviously Russians' clandestine forces. As I said, Putin will not let this eat. Jesus. In case there is somebody not... I don't know what that's... I don't know why I've done that. What the hell? Let's just... Now, Crimea, an autonomous region I've actually, since last time I used the map, the port is somewhere around here. Because I looked at it on a map. It's definitely in this, I think it's there, I would say there. Right, so it's on this wee bit there, port. Their Black Sea port, which leads into the Med, which gives them access to the Atlantic, where their subs are. And if you come up to Russia, all their other ports, I don't know exactly all the ins and outs where they do and don't. Maybe somebody better military knowledge than me tell me, but I know that some of their ports up here are frozen ports, in the sense that they're not always water. Sometimes they're frozen. But Syria is a Russian port. The Crimea is a Russian port. As RT keeps lovingly telling us, Crimea was Russian right up until what, the 40s or 50s, 40 something. So it's always more or less always been Russian, right? And I'm not on anybody's side, but I see. Well, that's Putin. Putin's forces are in there. I mean, where is that? They're trying to tell you that's some sort of a militiaman. All matching you. I mean, my idea of militiamen, and I've seen them in the States, and they're all armed to the teeth, but they're not uniformed like that. That's military. Anyway, the head of the Simmerpol Airport Security Service, that Russian dude, confirmed that the people patrolling the territory of the airport are calling themselves self-defence squads, and their intention is to prevent possible turmoil. We are constantly in touch with them, that guy said. The Crimea Information Agency reported, we are protecting passengers inside the airport, and they do the same outside. If everything goes as peacefully as it does now, they will stay here for as long as it takes to provide security. So they're right. So they're bought and paid for to provide security at the airport, right? Makes sense. Militiamen. Hey, militiamen! I don't know. Maybe I'm stereotyping my idea of militias. Men is like American militia. I don't know. Gonna get done for stereotyping. That guy, a correspondent for RT's documentary channel, who's now at the airport, has also reported it has been patrolled by self-defence squads. This must be lost in translation. I wonder what they're adding adding that they in no way are hampering the airport from operating flights according to the schedule. It's all quiet inside the airport, he said. There are much fewer armed people outside than there were this morning. In the morning. Right, let's see BBC. Occupied! Ukraine crisis! RT that. Hey! Some militiamen just turned up. Self-defence squads, man. They're just keeping the peace. Occupied! Airport's occupied. Let's see. The Occupy. Right, Ukraine's interior minister secured Russian naval forces of occupying Sevastopol airport in the region of the Crimea. What are you talking about, BBC? What are you talking about, BBC? Look, it's militiamen. They're just locals. Well, BBC, you're such liars. Look, just little wee militiamen. That's all it is. Oh Jesus, is that it? Russians occupy the Crimea, aye. That dude called their presence an armed invasion, but Russian Black Sea Fleet has denied that Russian servicemen are taking part. The other main Crimea airport, Simmerpol, has been occupied by armed men thought to be pro-Russian militia. Yeah, it's the pro-Russian militia. I mean, even if they're probably Crimean in the sense that they're born there and bred there, but they'll be the armed forces, probably. I don't know. They look like they've stepped out the Russian army. like their uniforms and all that. Does that guy get a rocket launcher? Militiamen out there to take out Godzilla. Oh Lord, I don't know, man. That is a rocket launcher or not? But that's cracking me up. There are signs of. I'm laughing. This is dead serious stuff. But what are you going to do? Stuff's hilarious. Look at this, militiamen. If that doesn't crack you, I'm going to have to watch some RT on the computer and see see if they're calling them militiamen. Right, there are also signs of further military movements. The BBC have seen 8 trucks. 8 trucks, I suppose it's meant to say, with the black plates of the Russian army, usually the type used to carry personnel moving towards Simferopol. They are unconfirmed Ukrainian reports of 8 Russian military helicopters arriving at Serbia. These places, I'm not going to murder it. That guy's there talking about something just now, and there's people with flags. Let's hear it.
To the Western media here. What we're seeing though is a pattern across the entire Crimea region.
Well, pretty much you're just saying the 2 airports raided by armed men. They're blocking off the roads and stuff. Well, what do you expect? The Russians get 2 ports into the Med. Syria's under threat, and this one's under threat, and this one's on their doorstep. They ain't. Alright guys, I'll leave a link for all this down below, you can go and check it out. But it's okay, don't worry, it's only militiamen. Militiamen. 2 to 3 dozen militiamen. Perhaps maybe lost in translation, I don't know, but that cracks me up. Militiamen. Marines. Army, people more military minded than me, tell me what's happening. Leave a link for all this down below, thumbs it up, spread it about, man, let people know what's happening. The truth is it's somewhere in the middle. I'm seeing pictures there, they've sealed off the road, that's guys there, sealing off the road. Let's have a wee look here.
To the Sevastopol International Airport, you might be able to see in the distance behind me the control tower and what looks like a military base around it, but on the road, and we're about 500 metres from the main gate, you can see there are barriers stopping anyone from entering. And just another couple of 100 yards on here, a very professional looking unit. These men are carrying high-powered assault rifles, they're in Kevlar uniforms, Kevlar protective gear, Kevlar helmets, and there are 2 unmarked, soft-skinned personnel carriers there as well. They've not been down the road to meet us or talk to us, so we don't know who they are, but quite clearly we're not allowed to go beyond this point.
They're only militiamen, don't worry.
In front of the barriers, and this is really what you would call a civilian home guard. We spoke to this man here. He says he's a Ukrainian who speaks Russian, and he's here, he says, just to protect the status quo. But the flags that are flying on the road signs here are flags of Russian sympathisers, and they don't want to talk to us at all. In fact, they don't particularly like the presence of the Western media here. What we're seeing, though, is a pattern across the entire Crimea region at the moment. On our journey from Simferopol to Sevastopol, we came through a roadblock last night, quite a significant roadblock. They were stopping all.
Leave a link for this down below, but there you can see they're locking down the roads to the airport. They're locking down the airport in Crimea. First place when you're moving military into an area you lock down, it'd be the Burger Kings, the McDonald's. No, that would be the American military. Drop big containers with Big Macs and then they lock down the airports. But it looks like Russia on militiamen are locking down the airport. Oh my god, that's cracked me up. Militiamen. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Militiamen. I'll leave a link for all this down below, you can go and check it out. But great, there's Russia locking down the Crimea. Anybody with any advice where you can go and find out where the Ukrainian troops are and what they're capable of doing, which is probably nothing considering Russia has one of their ports there. Thumbs it up, all links below, radio show.